Here we are, and once again, the backdrop has changed. And this time I'm in a little, very small rented cottage in Provence, in southern France. This is why you can see this greenery outside. It's quite cool, but it's still green and it's plenty of fresh air. So I'm here for a few days, and then I'm traveling on to teach a retreat in Italy. So this is kind of, I had a few days spare and I thought I'd offer them um, for this Dhamma stream session. Mm. And we've managed to find a small traveling Buddha. It's always good to have a little Buddha with you when you travel, because then wherever you are, you know where you are. You know, you're in Buddha land rather than the rest of this stuff which moves around. This stays with you right next to your heart. You put it out somewhere. Oh, that's where I am. You know, the hotel room. Hotel room. No, I'm in Buddha land. You know, and it just helps to remind you where you are. When you know where you are, you know who you are, or you know what you're not, which is more to the point, which I'll talk about today. Continuing our inquiry into the world of the five aggregates. But since we have the Buddha with us, we'll begin the session with a little evocation. Bhagavad Dhamma Sambuddho Swakato Yena Bhagavata Dhammo Supatipanno Yasa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Dhamayam Bhagavandang Sadhammang Sasangham Ime Sangare Yadarahang Aropidehi Apepuchayama Satuno Bande Bhagava Suchirambarini Butopi Bhajima Janandanungam Vamanasa Ime Sakare Dukatabana Karabonde Patigan Hatu Amagam Dikaradam Hindaya Sukhaya Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddham Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Vakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Upatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami. Nam Namayam Buddhasa Bhagavato Pupapakanamakkaram Romasi Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Take some time for direct practice. Establishing the basis, always establish the body in line with the Buddha's own uh, recommendation, practice, and the process of satipatthana always begins with body. For obvious reason, once you come into body, your mind is limited, and we can't move out into dreams and speculation. So the body acts as a kind of a boundary, as an anchor. Physical body, uh, and even the sense of being just this body for this time, not just the identity or the future, the past, the ranging moods and shifts of one's personality, just being a body, being contained, being collected and strengthened by it because it's got a rhythmic process, it has a grounded quality that you can feel through the fact of sitting still or standing. It's grounded. It's spacious in that you have space around you, nobody's bothering you, nothing's pressing against you, there's nowhere to go, you don't have to scramble. It's profoundly affected. You can change the effects through using your muscles just to bring your body into line and then relaxing the muscles, particularly in your face, your hands, relaxing them all. And this actually changes the energy in the system. It turns it down. It makes it more moderated. And now what becomes evident as we do this is you're no longer reading the signs and signals from the world around you, but you're reading or becoming aware of signs and signals coming from the world within you. It's like it turns you inside out. Suddenly your moods, impressions, memories suddenly become placed, revealed, moving into your awareness, into your field of what you can directly sense. And this is obviously quite a shift, and sometimes quite a dramatic shift. So again, the body helps to keep us stable, and we have this process of the body within, the internal body, is the rhythm of breathing, the space within the internal body, the opening of it. You know? And this then acts as the center of our inner world. Not just the physical quality of breathing, but the rhythmic fluid energies that are activated when you breathe in. You feel something opening and spreading and tingling, and soothed and calm when you breathe out. Then this sign, this reliable signal of simple rhythmic ease and refreshment is your focus point. Not just the sensations, but the overall sense of having this involuntary experience that you don't have to make happen. You don't have to be a professional. It's there for you. You relax and settle into it. It will certainly become more available. And you don't have to be that good at it, because there's always another one. If you miss that one, come back to the next one. Because our attention generally wants a particular thing to focus on. You say, well, okay, just focus on the center of your chest, it's called the heart area, because that's a pretty easeful place. You can feel something spreading and opening there as your inhalation comes in. And this experience of the chest gently opening um, gives a certain emotional signal. So you don't have to do. The body recognizes, oh, this is no hurry, unrestricted, yeah, no pressure, even slightly gladdening effect. I can breathe in. It can happen. And breathing out has this sense it allows a relaxation to pass through the body. I relax, I feel safe, I am comfortable, I can let things go. These are gladdening and easeful tones to listen to. We use the word listen. This is not about sound, is it? What does listening mean? It means receptive sense. Listening is deeply receptive compared with the eyes, which are much more proactive, seeking and what's going on. Listening is much more open, receptive. We're developing this open, receptive kind of attitude, approach, because it connects to what's being felt. What's so, and with this process of your breathing body becoming more comfortable, what's being felt with that? That listening aspect takes this signal into the heart, right? Because we're listening with chitta, with heart. Now, before this is not the physical heart, but it's just a word we use to describe the receptive aspect, which is sensitive and feels. When we feel things, we can feel many, many things, of course, and that's appropriate. But for this time, we're actually filtering, not suppressing, but filtering. So just feeling present, grounded, space, rhythm of life flowing. We don't have to do anything with it. It happens by itself. Just picking up those signs and signals. Other moods and emotions might move along. Right? That's fine. This is a carrier. This breathing is a carrier. It's a vehicle. So there might be some sadness or fatigue, irritation. Just the chitta then acts like the river, carrying these emotional debris along. Maybe by not reacting to them, the chitta can discharge them. By not react, the heart can discharge them by not reacting to them. Or it can investigate, why is this so important to me? What's happening? So, along with the breathing being a vehicle for carrying, or like the river carrying some emotions, some complexes, some attitudes, and letting them be carried along. And just by that fact alone, they tend to become looser, softer, release, unravel. But also, the breathing is, it's also indicating we have this listening function, we have this capacity, this feature that can somehow attend to all our foods and feelings without having an opinion about them, without getting affected by them, and still notice them. Mm. And of course, so the breathing helps us to reveal something. It's always there, but often we don't really reveal it. Listening, awareness, heart consciousness, because it's not a sight, it's a sound. It's mm, this aspect, chitta, and the knowingness of the chitta. Jnana is a Pali word. This quality, as we stay steady with that, fine-tuned, like a cat's whisker. How is this? How is that? Feels like this. Feels like that. Mm. And there is that which is doing the feeling, having the feelings happening to. What's that? How is that? Quiet, open, sensitive. Marvelous, actually. Mm. The more you acknowledge that kind of heart consciousness, so strongly present and reliable. And let's, having touched into this, let's mm, open the session to a Dhamma talk. Um, and again, just use that capacity to listen to what I say. And some things may strike you, some things may just glide by. That's fine. You know, if you get a few points, that's fine. If you don't get anything, well, it could be a lot worse. So let's come out of the meditative bit and down to give a talk.
Brahmachaloka Dipati Sahampati Katanjali Anadiwaram Ayachata Santida Sata Parajaka Jatika Dese tu Dhammam Anukampimam Pajam.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Mm. Mm. So our entry into what we call meditation, I call Chitta Bhavana, cultivation, development of Chitta, of its heartful awareness, um, mm, enables us to have a fundamental realization. You know, oh, I have an inner world. It's not just everything seen, sight, touch, sound, etc. You know, I'm not just in that. I can be sitting in this room and the room disappears and the time disappears. You know, maybe the sounds disappear. And yeah, there's quite a rich experience happening for me, very rich. In fact, a lot richer and more meaningful than that world outside me, which definitely takes a lot of my interest, energy, and attention, and which never really arrives at a finally very satisfying result. It's always something else that you have to deal with. And then one day I will leave it. Where did that go? So there's recognition of the inner life. Call it inner for the sake of concept. It's not. Um, and the aim is to really reveal firstly and then kind of clarify and get the messages and learn from this inner life, because this inner life is deeply educational. It starts to tell us things about when we're getting upset or lazy or casual. You can notice it, and you notice what it feels like. And so it's a learning system, because you get a good immediate feeling for, malevolent thoughts, um, impulses, sadness, depression, guilt, anxiety, joy, loving kindness. And you get, these are the heart, these are chitta qualities, these are the heart qualities that stream out. And you begin to study that. Wait a minute, this one makes me feel really bad. Gets my mind starts getting scattered and hasty and then flat or depressed or whatever. And then this gives me some nourishment. And to know this, you're going to find, and to know and to steer towards it, steer around it, you're going to know how to improve your own well-being and to acknowledge reflexes and reactions and impulses that don't lead to your welfare, and be able to say, oh, no, I can steer away from that. I can stop that. I can check that. So we reveal, but also we learn how to steer within that. Mm. Both things you give more attention to, and things you relax attention from. And you can relax attention by just coming back into the felt sense of the body and leave the mental impressions alone. Yeah. And you can emphasize something by focusing on it, and then as you focus on it, say a generous mood or a mood of gratitude, you can the more you hold that steady and just feel your breathing with it, it will amplify and strengthen and reveal more fruitful qualities. This is called the upward stream. At least I call it the upward stream, because if you focus on those benevolent qualities, such as gratitude, such as freedom from regret, focus on them with this listening heart and feel your breathing with it. The energy of the breathing has this effect. It seems to amplify. And then you start to feel really pretty good. Pretty bright, which is wow, I didn't have to do anything much. And a kind of feeling of hopelessness, I'm stuck in this forever, I'm this, and that all disappears. I'm not hopeless. I do have some ways where I can steer towards my well-being. And it's going to be, what is it? What are you, And so then with the chitta is feeding on its own impulses and movements, and we just can discern which are the useful ones, which are the more helpful ones. Its ability to turn. Chitta can turn. It's not just hypnotized, it can turn. And it can give itself to skillful qualities. And it can refrain from and acquires distaste for unskillful qualities, and sort of lessens its interest in, stuff that goes nowhere useful. And so it's an ongoing learning process, which you keep learning, as far as I can see, you keep learning for as long as you live. Every day is presenting something, and you get more familiar with it. Those are those, not just obvious things like malice or jealousy, but kind of feelings of uselessness or regret, or what am I pointless? What's the point of being alive? These kind of things, or feeling you're obliged, you've got to be this for somebody else. I should be this kind of person. I'm not that kind of person. I should be this kind of person, and all this kind of psychological stuff. And you're thinking, and you better get some angle on that and say, no, this is just not true. This is not the script. This is a false script that's being implanted. Yeah. And where does this come from? Where does this sense of the false script of what I am, what I should be, and what I'm not, and what I was come from? Hmm? Who writes it? Yeah. Well, it's what's called the five aggregates, five khandha. Mm, Feeling, which consciousness, which is that which is bringing in sights and sounds and touches and thoughts about. That brings the what we call the external world. Yeah, consciousness does that. So that immediately means you're in a definite physical environment that churns along minute by minute, an hour to day by day, and there you are. You're in this. You're in a kind of on a treadmill, running through a physical world that actually you can't get it. You can't have it, but you can't avoid it. It's throwing stuff into you that some of it's nice, but it disappears. Some of it's distinctly horrible. I don't want to, but then all of it is giving rise to the sense you are in this, you are in this. This is the real thing. You are in this. You are the listener, you're the hearer, you're the one who's touched, you're in a body. That's what consciousness is doing, generates a sense of self located in space and time, something we take so much for granted. Yeah, of course, I'm a person in space and time. I was born in this year and I'm in this particular place. Well, that's a thought. And that's maybe your birth certificate and what's on the map. That's not where you are, is it? Yeah. How lonely that is to be stuck in that. Mm. And how you're missing the point of where you actually are deeply centered and present and tuned in is not in that. It's in the heart, right? So consciousness is an aggregate. Explain the word. It means aggregate means several things are stuck together, and this sticking together is sight, sound, um, fragrance, taste, touch, and thought. They stick together, and generally the thinking mind sticks them all together and says, you're in this place that you can see, and it's the same as the place that you touch, and it's the same as the place that you hear, right? And it's called, this is the name. I'm in Provence. Well, they're separate experiences. I mean, the sight is not the same as the sound, is it? Like if you pick up an apple, the sight of the apple is not the same as the taste of the apple. They're completely different experiences. Well, the mind stitches all that together. That's an apple. But which bit is the apple? It's right, you know. But and when you look around your where you're dwelling, you can see it. So you dwell in the visual thing, and you look at this body. You think you see a body. You see other people's bodies. That's where they are. They're in there. Which bit are they in? All of it? Which bit are you in? Are you in your toe, your ear, your elbow, your fingernails? No. Where are you then? I don't know. Because you can't define it in those terms. You're not in your eyebrows or your lips or your teeth. So you're not in it, but it keeps telling you you are. And then you get kind of like, well, my body doesn't do this. It doesn't look like this. It's getting older. It should be, then you get meshed up in it. This is called being stuck, or an aggregate affected by clinging, by this sense of that which wishes to know where I am, or who I am, or what I am. It's a kind of a insecurity instinct, right? So, oh well, get hold of it. Then I know where I am. It may not be very good, but here I am. Well, it's not very good, but it's also not where you are. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to reflect upon it and you recognize it. In terms of direct experience, most of the time you're not in a body at all. You're in a thought. Mm. Body is form. It's another aggregate. Mm. Visible form, tactile form, so on. Yeah. But then the other what we feel much more in really is the feeling. The flow of generally mental feeling is the constant movement of being uplifted, pleased, about to get something, and sanya, perceptions, impressions. That touches me in a very agreeable way. That memory, that sight, that sound, it really pleases me for a moment, and it shifts into something else. And then this person who I know comes in, I feel very happy, and they disappear. Then I feel that's a shame they've gone. So these are called sanyas, impressions, and they have feeling associated with them. So these are next two aggregates: feeling, perception, and finally, the last one, sankhara. What happens? What does my heart do when these things touch it? Maybe it gets flustered, maybe it starts to agitate, maybe it wants to hold on to something, maybe it runs away, maybe it tries to wriggle out, maybe it tries to escape. Yeah, sankhara. So these are the aggregates, and they write the script of who you are and what you're doing, where you are and where you are and what you're going to do about it. Right? Where you are, what you're going to do about it, how it's affecting you, who you are, because out of this conglomerate comes the sense of I am a person in space and time who has difficult feelings. There are impressions that trouble me. I don't know what to do. They're not even impressions about the here and now. They're memories from the past that are coming up. I feel really still very annoyed by or regretful about. What can I do about it? This is where I am. I'm in all this. You know? And so the Buddha finally said, well, this the first noble truth, this clinging in terms of the five aggregates is suffering. And he only said it because he recognized you can get out of it. He wouldn't have told us something that was just like a dead end. He said, there is a way out. And so what is that? Essentially, it's the citta can turn away from the five aggregates. It can both move around within them and it can turn away from them. It says the turning away, sublime, peaceful, the detachment, dispassion, ceasing, nibbana. So actually the citta removing itself from this presentation experience of manifestation is sublimely peaceful. And we thinking, wow, but that's a big, big job. And yeah, maybe it is. But just bearing in mind, it does indicate that we're not just trapped in a physical body with these terrible memories or perceptions of the world around us, which are often pretty horrible. You look in the global catastrophes that are going on, they're deeply horrible, horrifying and frightening and disempowering. Yeah. You and we're not just in these when this occurs for people when they feel trapped and disempowered or frustrated, the sankharas that arise are not wholesome. We just start to get angry, resentful, jealous, greedy, selfish. I want mine. I'm stuck. I want to find a place I can get out. So these rather disagreeable sankharas start occurring, which we see in evidence in the world around us, very much so. If we've not cultivated, then these sankharas just start welling up. What does attract being do? They fight. They fight with themselves, they fight with others, they fight with their emotions, they fight. Mm. Yeah. And they fight in different ways, of course. And all this energy is getting used up in being thrashed around in this manifestation, in which we all realize sooner or later, basically, you lose. You're in it because the energy goes down, the body becomes more debilitated, you get less capable of doing anything. You just got to basically, you know, surrender to this process of the aggregates. Well, the Buddha says you don't have to do that at all, because your chitta is not, it sends out energies to illuminate these aggregates. So we're capable of feeling very strongly. We're certainly capable of activations and movements and impulses and directions. We're clearly able to interpret things and get meanings and impressions, and we can remember things. And can be assets, of course, because in this birth, that's what we come in with. That's what we got to use, in this very being born in this situation. You say, well, things you can do things. First of all, you as we've been doing in a meditation, for example, is you turn your citta towards favorable aspects, favorable aspects. So, for example, we will reflect upon the triple gem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, and the Buddha encourages us to do that. This is agreeable impressions, agreeable perceptions. We can reflect upon the good nature and the kindness and the support of our fellow people, our fellow beings, our fellow practitioners. And he says, you should do this. You should bear in mind you are not alone in any of this. You are not alone in any of this. Everybody experiences suffering and stress, and you're also in a field of goodness, a field of punya, merit, and touch into those qualities in yourself that are skillful, meritorious. In this way, you're using the aggregates, the sanya, the perception, and the feeling, it's a pleasant feeling, to generate and support skillful sankharas. And you make a practice out of that. And this practice is enlisted in various ways, but one of the daily life memos we can carry is of the 10 parami. Parami are qualities that stream from the internal world to the external world. Yeah. So when these aggregates are not attended to, they're not carefully known and attended to, then the signals come from the external world and go into the internal world. We read the news and we feel angry, upset, disappointed. So the signal comes from the external world, then the perception, then gives rise to this unpleasant feeling, and then the mood is, oh dear, why don't you do something, like that. So now the other direction is the parami sends a signal from the internal world to the external world. Example, very simple example, generosity is a parami. Means from here, from my heart, I bring forth giving to fellow humans, those in need, those who provide resources. I can support the skillful. I can't do things on my own, but I can support others who can do things. So we look to how we can give our time, our energy, our resources towards supporting those who do bring around welfare in the world. Dana. And then you feel good. Yeah, that's great. I feel, something within me has manifested and found a place in the world around me. I feel my life has not been wasted. And that keeps me going. I don't know what else to do, but I can do dana. I do Dhamma dana and for anybody. Mm. And so and it just is yeah, I don't do stamp collecting. I don't watch football. I don't see the point. I do Dhamma dana, and that's great. Um, and then, so this is something that's not that difficult to touch into. Sila, morality, means this again comes from the internal sense of integrity. My chitta is worthwhile, and I let myself down if I do squalid, dismissive, negative. Let those energies flow out to others. Does me no good, does them no good, but I can develop honesty, harmlessness, straightness, yeah, non-abusiveness. So this is my refuge, my treasure. Whatever else does to me, I can be with this. And in your difficult times, when things seem difficult, just being able to recollect, okay, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling unhappy, but remember my ethical body. Remember that, because the more you stay with it and the more you breathe it, it does become almost like a subtle physical presence. It's not physical, it's energetic. It means there's a certain sense of an upright core that you find yourself straightening up to. And it does. You actually find yourself, your body straightens up with these qualities rather than going, oh, I don't know what to do, and life's away, and people are so mean and nasty. And remember your integrity. And you go, oh, yeah, right, right. And you're strong. Okay. You don't quite know what to do, but you know the general, get that center, and then you'll see what you can do. You've got to get to that center first, then that will tell you this is what you can do, or maybe you can't do, but you can be. And that very quality of being straight, clear, that has an effect on others. They sort of, oh yeah, she's not playing the game. Dana sila. Renunciation, another big parami, means I've had enough. I have enough. I walk to the store, I have enough. I just need that and that, the rest of it. No. I don't need a new one. I got one. It's like it's that turning away from that beckoning impulse of the consumer world. So I don't like that. I don't like to be constantly bothered by something demanding I buy it or look at it. I don't want to have to look at everything and buy it. I just so you renounce. You develop this sense of restraint over your senses, restraint over your outgoing faculties. I think, yeah, I feel a lot freer, a lot less bothered by this stuff. Great parami. Mm. There are 10 of these, so how much time we have. Mm. But panya, discern, that sense of being clear. Kanti, being patient, is an enormous parami. And this is where we're starting to go really deep with patience, because patience challenges the sense of time and it uproots the sense of time. It means you leave the avenue of time You leave the ongoing, endless avenue of time, right? What am I talking about? I mean, I've got to get this done by. Why is it taking so long? Why is she late? Why don't people turn up on time? There's not enough time. You know, I've been waiting here for 2 hours. Yeah. My mind won't calm down. I've been practicing this for 10 years and it still doesn't calm down. What's missing? Patience. Patience is just, well, I can be patient. It means I can give up end games. I can give up the next thing. And recognizing I can dwell in patience. And then it's not waiting for something to end. Then think, no, it's not about waiting for something to end. It's about not caring whether it ends or not. It's a very deep, spacious place where you leave time behind. Okay? Energy. Energy is another parami, means what you could say yes to and what you can say no to. And you need to ask that question many times. Take authority over what you're going to give your energy to, what you can say yes to. That depends on what you can say no to. If you can't say no, then you are going to get drained and depleted and confused. If you can say no, then you can say yes. I think you should get it in that order first. Establish the no boundary, first of all, and why. It's not useful, uh, it's not profitable, it's not my area. Then you could say yes to what's left, what's there. Very important. Filtering all the ways that the world wants you to act. And yeah, very important. Managing these. Okay, where are we now? Truthfulness, saying actually what you know. If you think, you imagine something, you say, I imagine something. If you've heard something, you say, I've heard something. If you think something, you say, I believe this, but. Yeah. And when you talk truth, it means you don't say, she's like that. No, you say, I experience her in this way, because that's truthful. You don't say, oh, she's one of those, she's like that. You say, when I'm with her, I feel this. When you talk about truthfulness, means talking about your own citta. And then, yeah, that's telling the truth. You don't use the you word. Because you don't know, truly. And then people can come to their own conclusions. People sometimes think, yeah, they can do something, they can't do it. They feel they have to do it because they feel socially obliged. I don't want to let you down. I don't want to hurt your feelings, so I can do it. No, feelings don't count as to whether you can do something or not. No. And if we're true with each other, say, that is sad that I would like some help with that and you're unable to do it. Well, that's a bit sad, but at least you told the truth and I feel I can trust you, rely upon it. And then this is the way we sort of work it out, rather than, just living in obligation and expecting. Uh, and then if be truthful. That's how we're going to, if we're committed to truth and realization, it's our responsibility to be truthful about the human condition. Say, well, I can't do it right now, but of course, it could change. That's true too. Right now, I'm feeling like really disappointed with you, but in 5 minutes' time, that could change. Because that's true, isn't it? You know, right now, I'm a bit confused, and I'm sorry I upset you, but hang in. Let's hang in together. And with a bit of breathing and some compassion, things could shift and we could get quite bright together. That's useful to know, isn't it? Truthfulness, uh, you know, energy, loving kindness, resolution, equanimity, loving kindness to self and others, to establish this domain which cherishes the truth. It's not sentimental. It's not sentimental at all. It's food. If there's no goodwill in your system, I don't like to think of the state that you're in. If there's no goodwill in your heart at all, I can't imagine the state of hell that you're in. There's got to be some somewhere. Yeah. Otherwise, you certainly wouldn't be listening to this for sure. You'd be killing yourself or something. But we need to tap into that loving. Loving perhaps is just the wrong word for it. The benevolence, that we're grateful to be alive. There's something that comes to us that makes us rich and relationally healthy. And without this, as we're relationally defective, relationally saddened, relationally frightened, relationally anxious, right? Then if that's the case, if that's what's happening, that happens to us, then it must increase the amount of grasping and fear-bound reactivity and guilt-bound reactivity and self-critical activities that make life very confusing and make us difficult to support. Loving kindness is the heart of relationship, just the willingness to be here in awareness of oneself and others, in willing to be here, willing to show up for life. You tap into that, make much of it, and the Buddha said this is to be encouraged and developed. And it's a door to the deathless because it sets us up in the proper heart. Heart is fed by it. And it's the heart is the aspect of our experience that can turn away from these aggregates, open the door to the deathless. The heart is not rich, it can't turn the door. It's always, I want, I need, I should, I can't, am I, doing that. It's got to be this. And metta is one of the fundamental supports. Resolution, means you get the firmness, the steadiness. Upekkha, you can dwell in equanimity. equipoise means we neither exalt nor dejected. We recognize that poised emotional, psychological balance of we don't grasp for the future, we don't reject the past, we abide in the present. We are equanimous. Yeah, it's a very fine abiding place. And the Buddha himself said, you know, when you're with very difficult people in very difficult situations, he said, there's nothing I could recommend so highly as equanimity. It's important to cultivate equanimity. You know, this is a no-go situation. It doesn't look like anything's going to come out of it. Equanimity. And the path to that has to be through patience and loving kindness and resolution. Because otherwise I'm getting out of here. I can't stand it. No, it's his fault, you know. I just don't need to do that. Things will change by themselves. And equanimity is the wisdom faculty because it knows this will change. This will change. So these are the qualities that you bring forth from the heart in dealing with the world of the manifestation, the aggregates, and it gives you a chance to get the sense of being independent from, but not or autonomous from, but not ignorant about. You certainly still have to deal with body, with feeling, and so forth. But now, this is a chance for patience. This is an opportunity for the loving kindness that results in forgiveness. I'm capable of letting that pain go. And we can talk some more upon that and other themes at another time. So I reckon I'd stretch the time a bit, but we're free agents, and of course you can leave whenever you want. The Zoom screen, you don't have anything to do. So we'll conclude the session this time, and thank you for listening.
Andamayam Dhammagataya Sadhukaram Dadamase Sadhu, 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 anumodami.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. And, it's nice to be able to do these things for some contribution to the world. Just to let you know that next session is December 14th. I'm always a bit challenged with these times and dates. But it'll also be the same time I'll be in Italy next time. This is why my aggregates are such a scrambled mess. But in Italy next time, so I'll be in this European time zone, and so that conforms quite nicely with the people in Singapore who are benevolently hosting this whole thing. And so the folks in America, just got to get out of bed earlier. New York, 8 o'clock in New York, and probably 5 o'clock in the morning or something in California, which I don't expect many Californians turning up, and 1 o'clock in the afternoon if in the UK. Okay, so hope to see you there and stay in the stream and best wishes. Let's sign off. Dhamma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddham Bhagavantam Abhivademi. Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami.
Paul, thank you once again. And on behalf of everybody here, I think we want to put our palms together and wish you a belated happy birthday. I think you celebrated your birthday 20 days ago. So
I'm looking for the next one. Only 362 days to go. Start writing the cards now.
So please accept 3 vows from us with gratitude, sincerity, love, and respect, Lompo.
Lovely. Yeah, and next time I hope can look at some questions. So either we'll do it through Dhamma tracks or I'll take things off the screen. So that's what I'm looking at next time. Bye for now.
Bye, Lompo.